We're in Moscow, we would be dispersed, we would be beaten, we would be put in the back of a police van, driven off, and perhaps face 15 years in prison. And we know that the fascist Putin is driving 3 million people out of the Ukraine, 3 million people, the same population as we have in Wales. So imagine if the whole population of Wales were fleeing for sanctuary into England, and someone at the border said, "Hello, do you pick fruit? Hello, are you a member of the FSB? Are you going to suddenly bring around some poisoning of us? Oh, you come in from Newport, you've got to go over to Shrewsbury to be processed." The truth is that the people who are, millions of people who are coming out of Ukraine, of course, are all old people or women and children. The men have stayed to fight. And yet if they arrive in Calais, they've got to go to Paris. They aren't allowed in here. And only now we've got a situation where they can come to people's homes if they're paid basically what is the level of sick pay here. Britain is shameful, and this is an illustration of the Border and Nationalities Bill, of course, that we're here to gather and fight against. So we're here in unity against that bill, and we're also here in unity against the Police Crime Sentencing and Courts Bill. Again, this assembly could be dispersed by the police for being too noisy when that bill comes in. And we've already seen, by use of the coronavirus laws by the Metropolitan Police, the dispersal of a peaceful vigil for Sarah Everard, people who were gathering, grieving for someone who'd been raped and actually killed by the police. So we need to think very carefully about the sort of laws that are coming forward that confront all of us. And in terms of the coronavirus laws, let's not forget that the BAME communities, of course, suffered disproportionately in death rates and illness rates at the hands of the coronavirus. And why was that? Well, the reason for that was because if you're in a BAME community, you're more likely to be a public servant on the front line, frontward facing, be it a nurse, be it in transport, be it a teacher or whatever, or whatever. You're more likely to be in congested accommodation. And that's a disproportionate impact that we're not seeing addressed by the current government. And indeed, the children of people who are in poorer communities on average, who don't have more congested housing, who haven't got access to the educational facilities, who have parents in more difficult jobs on 0 hours, have fallen back disproportionately, and they're more likely to be in the BAME communities as well. So we need to confront these institutional parts of racism already in our system and oppose the attempt to bring about more right-wing legislation that we're seeing come forward from the Tories in the UK government. Our message here is clear. In Wales, we are a nation of sanctuary. In Wales, we are a community of communities. In Wales, we are welcoming refugees home to Wales. Diolch yn fawr iawn.